Hello everyone, I'm Vanessa from Mom of 5 Trying to Survive. Today I'm going to show you how to make this Grinch glitter ornament. I will show you how to make one with polyacrylic and one with Mod Podge. The supplies you're going to need for this project is a clear ornament, polyacrylic or Mod Podge and water, glitter, paper cups, a syringe or spoon, a funnel or a paper funnel, black and red permanent vinyl, transfer tape, cutting machine, or you can cut it out by hand, and weeding tools. This ornament is going to be made with polyacrylic. I have some here that I stirred with a stick. Here's my ornament. I'm going to use a syringe to draw up the polyacrylic liquid. If you don't have a syringe, you could probably also use a spoon. I'm going to put the polyacrylic in the ornament, and I'm going to slowly turn the ornament so that the liquid can coat the whole inside of the ornament. I'm going to continue adding enough liquid until I can coat the whole inside of the ornament. If you have spots like I do that aren't getting covered when I turn it, you're just going to have to move the ornament in different directions to get it to cover the whole inside. Now I'm going to place it upside down in my cup to drip. Now with my next ornament, I'm going to use Mod Podge as the glue, and I have the satin Mod Podge, and I mixed Mod Podge and water together, and I did 1 tablespoon of Mod Podge and a little bit less than a tablespoon of water and mixed it together so it was nice and liquidy. I'm going to use a funnel to pour this in. I'm going to use the same process to coat the whole inside with the Mod Podge, and because this is a lot runnier, it's a lot easier to coat the whole inside. And then I'm going to let it sit upside down in my cup so all the excess can drip out. Here is my polyacrylic ornament. And it has been dripping for a few minutes, and I'm going to now fill it with the glitter. I'm going to pour my glitter onto a piece of paper and then fold it to pour it into the ornament. And I'm just eyeballing how much glitter I'm going to need. So if you need more after you pour this in, you can add some more. And you're going to use the same technique that you did to spread the glue. Just spin and shake the glitter around. To get the glitter to the top of the ornament, cover the opening with a paper towel and shake the ornament around This way the glitter will stick to all the exposed glue that isn't covered yet. And here I'm checking to make sure there aren't any bare spots where the glitter didn't stick. If there are any spots, you can just cover it up again and shake it in that area to make sure the coverage is nice and even. And then I'm going to put the excess glitter back into my glitter container. Now I'm going to repeat that same process with my Mod Podge ornament. Now you may notice that the glue from the Mod Podge is more white than the polyacrylic glue, but when the Mod Podge dries, it will dry clear and you won't be able to tell the difference between the polyacrylic and the Mod Podge. I'm now going to prepare my files in Cricut Design Space. You can get these files free on my blog. I'm going to first resize the Grinch face to my ornament. My ornament is about 2 inches wide, so I'm going to make the Grinch face about 1.75 inches wide. And I'm making 4 ornaments, so I'm going to copy the Grinch face 3 times. And then with the Stink, Stink, Stunk, I'm going to also copy that 4 times. I'm going to do that by clicking the duplicate button over on the layers panel. And I'm going to be cutting this out on black and red vinyl. And the 2020 is not attached to each other. If I were to leave them unattached, they would separate from each other. So I'm selecting each 2020 and hitting the attach icon at the bottom of the layers panel so that they will stay together. I'm then going to grab the red words and attach them together. Each stink, stunk is going to be attached to each other so that when I cut them out, they're still spaced out the way that I had them when they were all together. So I'm going to do this for each one of my 2020 sections. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the black and attach those as well. And then when I have those all ready to cut, I'm going to select the Make It button. And I'm going to move these around a little bit because they're a little too close. I'm going to cut these out separate from each other once I have them cut out. So I'm going to move everything around to give them more space for cutting afterwards. My vinyl is all cut now, and I'm going to take it off my mat and prepare it for weeding. I'm going to cut these 4 images apart so I can work with them individually. And I chose to do a reverse weed for this design because it is small, intricate cuts. So I am getting my transfer tape ready. This is transfer tape that I've had for many years, and it's similar to masking tape. And so I'm going to cut my transfer tape to size, and I actually cut it a little too small. There should be some excess around all the edges, and I'll show you why in just a moment. I'm using my scraper to scrape down so that the vinyl will stick to the transfer paper. And I'm going to remove the paper backing. And I had a little bit of difficulty with the top word, getting it to stick to the transfer tape. And so I used the scraper again to try and get it to stick before pulling off the paper. But I continued to have a difficult time, so I just had to carefully peel off the paper so that I wouldn't take off the words. And this just happened with the top word, not the bottom word for some reason. Once you peel off the paper backing, I like to use painter's tape to tape it to my table. And this is why you want the transfer tape to be slightly bigger than your vinyl so that you can tape it down. You don't want to put the tape on the vinyl because you're going to be peeling that off. And then you're going to go ahead and peel off the vinyl that is not needed. And be careful as you're weeding to not let the vinyl stick to itself like mine did, because it could pull up the letters. And I use my weeding tool to press down any letters that try to come up. And then I'm going to take my weeding tool to weed the middle of all of the letters. Now I'm going to repeat the process with my black vinyl. I do want to make a note about how my vinyl cut. The black vinyl I cut first, and it's Cricut Premium vinyl, and I chose that setting in my Cricut Maker to cut it. And after cutting it once, it did not cut all the way through. And so I had the machine cut it 4 more times until I saw it cut through all the way. I'm not sure why it wasn't cutting all the way. And so when I cut my red vinyl second, I changed the pressure in the materials setting to 207, and it cut the red vinyl in one cut. And the red vinyl was a lot easier to weed. The black vinyl was very difficult to weed because it wasn't really cut all the way through. So it continued to try and come up. And so after weeding this Grinch face, I decided to recut all the black because it would have been really difficult and frustrating to try and weed all of my black when it wasn't cut all the way through. So I would suggest always doing a test cut before you cut all your vinyl, which usually I do, but for some reason I didn't do this time, and so I wasted vinyl. Doing a test cut will save you a lot of material and heartache. So these are the black words that I'm going to weed, and I recut these after weeding the Grinch face because I did not want to have to weed the words. I knew I was going to probably get a lot of ripped vinyl. So I just recut all of my black with the same pressure settings as I cut my red, and it was able to cut all the way through with one cut and peeled so much nicer than the Grinch face. I'm now going to apply my vinyl to my ornament, but before doing that, because I'm placing it on a spherical object, I'm going to cut little slits into the paper so that it can go around the ornament easier and it won't fold or bubble the vinyl. So I'm going to place it on my ornament. I'm going to press in the middle of the vinyl and drag my finger down, and then drag from the middle to the outside edge and rub it really well with my fingers. And then I'm going to take my scraper and press it on a little more to make sure it's adhered to the ornament really well. And then I'm going to peel off my transfer tape. Going to repeat the same process with my red letters, trimming around the vinyl so that my transfer tape can mold to the round object of the ornament. And I like to just eyeball my vinyl, but if you feel more comfortable making marks so that you can line it up evenly with the black, feel free to do so. When I apply the Grinch face, I'm going to rub all of the vinyl for his eyes and eyebrows first, and then I'm going to do the mouth separate, working from the bottom up to the top, being careful not to fold the vinyl. You can see the transfer tape above the mouth. Once I press down on the vinyl, the transfer tape folds, which is why we did the trimming of the transfer tape. So you want to make sure all the vinyl gets placed on nice and flat, but the transfer tape can fold wherever it needs to so that the vinyl can be applied nice and flat. Thank Thank you for watching. You can find the written instructions for this project on my blog at mom5tryingtosurvive.com. I will post a link for this tutorial in the description below. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below or post over in my Facebook group. Remember, you can find lots of cut files, sewing projects, Cricut projects, and patterns over on my blog. You can find links to everything in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of my videos. Until next time, have a wonderful day and craft on.